right, guys, welcome back in to another episode of the Daytona Motor Mouse. I'm Ryan Pritt, and that is our resident lubrication and shellfish expert, Ken Willis.
Well, I wasn't ready for that one. I hope the lighting's not good in here because I think I'm a little red.
My goal every week is to hit you with one you're not expecting.
Well,
So Ken's going to tell us all. Ken's going to tell us all later this week if we can eat oysters this month or not, and I can't wait to find out, and I'm sure you can either. So definitely.
I know a couple of old wives, but I don't know if it's an old wives' tale or not. So about the months without an R in it. But the old wife isn't here right now, so I'm going to have to ask the oyster guy.
So definitely check out the News Journal on Friday, and you can learn all you need to know about shellfish in May. But yesterday we learned all we needed to know about racing at Dover. And let me ask you this, Ken: is 54 races a long? Is 54 races a long winless streak or not?
Not for Cuckoo Marlin, Brett Bodine, Morgan Shepherd. But when you're a past champion and you're a guy who sniffs around the top five steadily, like Martin Truex, yes, that's a long time. Not a long time for Martin Truex Sr., by the way, but Junior, yes, a long time. Or even
not
Barney
Truex.
A long time.
Or even Ryan, apparently. I don't know how many he had piled up.
His heart.
Yeah, before breaking through Saturday, but it was probably more than 54, I think.
You're talking about it was nearly over. Ryan Truex, the little brother, had run roughly 36 cup races here and there over the last several years, filling in for somebody or whatever. But he mostly has been in the Xfinity and Truck Series. But I think I totaled it up, and he was around 200 starts all told in NASCAR's three biggest divisions, and he got his first win Saturday in Dover, and then Big Brother Martin broke his winless streak on Monday. So it's quite a day for the Truexes, who joined the Wallaces, two of the three Wallaces, in winning races on the same weekend. So,
and it was at Dover too, right?
That was at Dover. Mike Wallace won the Busch Series race, and there were like 4 Cup regulars. Remember the days when the Cup guys would moonlight constantly in the Busch Series and Xfinity Series? I think the guys right behind them were Terry Labonte, Mark Martin, and a couple other Cup drivers. It was crazy. So
yes,
he held off a more stout. He held off a more stout group of chasers than Rusty did on Sunday, frankly.
Yeah, it was good to hear Rusty in the booth too. I think he did a pretty good job. And if you want to vote on that, that's our poll question this week. So again, right. We're just going to plug the website this whole entire episode. So how about that? Probably should list where you can find our stuff. It is news-journal.online.com. So make sure you visit. But Ross Chastain again, the talking point, no matter what. Yesterday we've got Brennan Poole doing his best Borisette impression, threatening butt whippings. And to which my favorite part of all of that is Kyle Larson after the race saying, "I'm obviously not about to whip anybody's butt." So, who is your prime candidate to finally dole out this butt whipping that Brennan Poole is trying to get done?
If he was younger, and maybe he doesn't even have to be younger, but Kevin Harvick's always been my go-to guy if you need somebody to exact a little vengeance in the garage. He's got those eyes. There's some old pictures of him angry, and he reminded me back when those pictures came out. I wrote about it, and he reminded me quite a bit of Jack Nicholson's character in The Shining when he was busting through that door with an axe. He had a look that you did not want to make eye contact with an angry Kevin Harvick, and I don't know if he's still got that in him or not. I don't know.
Yeah, But Kevin was on record, a week ago, asking how feasible punching someone in the mouth is these days. So I think he's gotten too lax at his older age for any kind of butt whippings now. I thought Larson was going to be on the receiving end of one last year from one Bubba Wallace, and maybe that's your guy. Maybe we need a Ross Chastain Bubba dust up.
That was pushing and shoving is all that was. Tony Stewart's been known to take care of things here and there, but he's too busy drag racing right now. Yeah.
I smell a poll question next week, but
that's right.
But before
by the way, before we get off that topic, I had to use my GPS in the truck yesterday to go find a business here in town, and I don't know what app you use for GPS, but I use the Waze, and it was alerting me as to Ross Chastain's whereabouts at like every 5 minutes. So I could keep my head on a little bit of a swivel. Ross Chastain is currently at 32,000 feet. Cruising altitude, so you're safe here on US 1.
So that's the answer. We need to get the Waze app installed to all the competitors' cars, and then we'll be able to get out of the way in time. But
Yeah.
we make jokes, but that one yesterday was hard to defend. I mean, I don't think. I mean, these "I'm sorry" speeches he's giving weekly, I don't doubt that they're sincere, but at some point, it's got to be a little bit of "Can you show me instead of tell me?" Right?
Either that, or I hate to say it, but there might be time to check his depth perception, because the only other thing I can think of is he came up on Brennan Poole so quickly that it's almost like he said, "Oh my God, I didn't realize I was this close and going this much faster." So, you don't want to suggest that maybe somebody out there has an optical issue going on, but maybe. I don't know. He got up
Yeah,
on a really you can always blame the closing speed, I guess. I used to I just remember the old days when a guy would wreck and nobody touched him and there was a car behind him. He'd always say, "Well, he took the air off my spoiler." So I don't know when you're the front car in that instance. I don't know what your excuse is, except I was fooled by the closing rate. Maybe that's one to hang your hat on, but not every week.
well, maybe instead of a butt kick, and Kevin Harvick can just loan him his glasses.
There's that too, and yeah, Ernie Irvan has a pair of glasses that Sterling Marlin threw at him once in the garage at Daytona after a wreck. I remember that. Sterling somehow found a pair of 50-cent drugstore spectacles, and next time Ernie Irvan was within pitching distance, he threw them over his car at Ernie as he was walking through the garage. It was quite a sight, so to speak.
You know, I don't want to overreact, but one thing that we saw this week was kind of after weeks and weeks of Chevy domination, and given they led the most laps too, it wasn't like they weren't anywhere to be found yesterday. But Toyota came home 4 of the top 7, and all 6 of theirs were in the top 13. Which, in an isolated, example, it may not seem like much, but do you want to take a crack at out of the 10 top 5 positions in 2 Kansas races last year, how many Toyota finished?
Out of the 10 top 5, I'll go right down the middle and say 5, but it's going to be big one way or the other. It's either going to be 8 or 2.
It's 8.
There you go.
4 of the top 5 in both races, both wins coming, of course, from the same car. One time the 45 was piloted by Kurt Busch, the second time by Bubba Wallace. So
That's right.
This is obviously a pretty good track for Toyota. Are we going to start to see kind of a little bit of a shift here at this part of the schedule, you think, in terms of the manufacturers?
Well, I wouldn't be at all shocked to see Truex make it 2 in a row now that he's got the victory lane stink on him again. Maybe he'll make it 2 in a row. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't win again this year either. But if I had to pick one of the Toyotas right now, just pure consistency's sake, I'd go with Christopher Bell, I guess, right now.
Yeah.
But I'm still waiting on Ty Gibbs. I'm still waiting. It's going to happen. He's going to pop. He was hanging in that top 5, 4th, 5th, 6th for a long time yesterday in stage 3, and then he had the fuel issue and then got staggered out in the pits. And oh well, maybe this is the week.
Yes. Spoiler alert. He was my dark horse this week. Really liked the way he looked. You're going to eventually be right. And I don't know how long it's going to take, but you're going to hit it if you just stay consistent. So
my 401k's been getting drained in this $100 a week betting exercise.
By the way, I know you've read this, for those out there listening, Truex has won a combined 10 times at 4 of the next 5 tracks. This is a shot for him to get hot in a hurry. So, yeah, I'd be more surprised if he doesn't win again than if he does. I think he's been close, and I know the Clash wasn't a points-paying event, but I mean that was a good tone setter early too. And like I said, these are some really good tracks for him coming up. It's a chance for him to really kind of rocket up the standings here.
Well, it's not like he won a plate race or even a road course race. I mean, he wanted a hard oval track, mile-long oval track, a difficult one to win on. The straights there are banked higher than a lot of tracks are in the turns.
Yeah,
and really that's quite a track, quite a fast track, and there's not a lot of room for error, as we saw yesterday a few times.
Yeah, sometimes that schedule, I'm not sure why some tracks are on there once and some are on there twice, but that's one I could stand to see an extra race on again. I enjoy watching that one. So
it was really good. I think if there was anything good from the COVID year, it was when they raced there 2 days in a row, I think, and they ran 311. I don't know why 311. I can't remember the sponsor tie-in, but it was a little bit shorter race, and those were even better because, they got your day on a little faster after they were over.
311. I don't guess the band played the pre-race performance, did they? That would have made a lot of sense too.
Well, that might have been it.
You a big 311 fan, Ken?
Yeah. Yes, I am.
All right, we'll move on from that. Give me a pick officially for Kansas.
Christopher Bell. I'll just stick with what I said a second ago, and there you go.
I know Tyler Reddick's record here isn't great, but hey, that car won twice last year. I'll take it a third time.
Is that how you're explaining that record? Not great.
It's pretty abysmal, but sometimes in these cars it doesn't really matter much. So
well, and he was with a different team then too.
Yeah, this car obviously has what it takes to get done, and it was proven a couple times last year. So with that, thanks for listening. Make sure you check news-journalonline.com for all your NASCAR and shellfish needs. And we will be back next week after hopefully a good race at Kansas. See you guys.